this is Robin Phillips with the Phillips Realty Group here in Charleston, South Carolina. Welcome to my video blog. So today we're going to be talking about how appraisers value a home. So before we begin, I'd like to point out two links on my blog. If you're looking to buy a home, click the Search All Homes for Sale link. And if you're looking to sell a home, click the Free Home Values Report link. Now back to the topic. So today we're asking, how does an appraiser value a home? And today we're lucky enough to have with us Felicia Lane of the Felicia Lane Appraisal Group. Felicia's been doing appraisals for approximately 10 years. She does over 250 a year. So she is definitely an expert in the Charleston market. So thank you so much for joining us today.
You're welcome. Thank you.
So in appraisal lingo, the subject property is the house that you're actually appraising. Is that correct?
Exactly, yes.
So if a seller were asked you to do an appraisal versus a bank asking you to do the appraisal, does it make any difference in how you value the home?
No, it does not make any difference to who orders the appraisal. The appraiser is supposed to be unbiased and appraise the property, represent the property only.
So, Felicia, when you're actually finding the value of the home, how do you actually come up with that value?
The first thing you have to do is pick comparable properties.
Okay.
Properties that are comparable to the subject. You want to make sure that those properties are first from the same market as the subject property, which could be the same neighborhood, the same street, the same zip code. That should all be determined by the subject.
So let's say you have a neighborhood of 500 homes.
Right.
We're in the same market. How do you choose which homes in that neighborhood you're comparing that subject property to in order to find the value?
Well, of course, you want to choose the most similar properties to your subject property.
Similar in what way?
It's according to what the market indicators are.
What do you mean by market indicators?
If there are value indicators in a market, let's say like if size is the issue, if number of bedrooms are an issue, if view is a huge value indicator, then those are the first things you want to pull out first. Of course, location in most markets is the biggest indicator, and then you go from there. Technically size, other issues like view, like we said before. For instance, if you're in a lakefront neighborhood, if being on the lake produces the higher value homes, you want to make sure you have that first.
Okay, so if you had a home on the lake that you were valuing,
right,
you would only choose other homes on the lake in order to compare it because obviously being on the lake adds value to that property.
Exactly. If you determine that in the market it does add value, then you want to make sure that you're picking the same ones.
Okay.
To a similar property.
So I would think that there are things like square footage, number of bedrooms, updated kitchens, that in all cases would add value to a home. So when would, say, number of bedrooms not add value to a home?
It's according. You have to look at what is selling. There's some neighborhoods right now where number of bedrooms doesn't mean anything at all. It doesn't matter. Where square footage and size is more prominent.
Okay. So I think you had mentioned to me one time that downtown, the number of bedrooms is extremely important.
It is.
Tell our viewing audience why.
Downtown, there are a lot of the larger homes are bought as investment property, and they're rented out to college students. The more bedrooms you have, the more college students you can get in there, the more money you can make. So bedrooms is a huge feature, but that is actually reflected in the sale prices, and the market will show you that. And that's how you know what the more prominent features are in a neighborhood or in a market.
So it sounds to me like the appraiser really has to do their research in the specific market.
You have to know your market, and you have to be competent. You shouldn't take it. An appraiser should not take an appraisal if they do not know the market.
That makes sense.
They shouldn't.
So, Felicia, what if someone decides to completely redo their kitchen? You know, they want commercial-grade appliances, sub-zero fridges, super high-end granite. This kitchen is the bomb. Are they going to get that value back out of that kitchen?
They may or may not.
That would depend on.
It would have to be determined by the market. When we pull comps and when we pull market information for each comparable or for the subject property for the market, we have to determine which features the market is willing to pay for. What are the buyers buying? If there are no other properties like that property in the neighborhood, how can we determine if it's a positive or a negative, or even how much an adjustment should be. It has never been exposed to the market before.
Okay.
If you're the only person in the neighborhood with a commercial grade appliance, then how can I determine whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, whether it's a positive or a negative?
Okay, so would you make some adjustment or no adjustment?
Every adjustment has to be justified.
Okay.
And the amount of the adjustment has to be justified. If I don't have a comparable that has that feature, if I can't find where the market has paid more for that feature, then it's actually no more than just a selling feature. It's not a value feature at all.
Interesting. So inventory levels right now are so low, and everybody out there knows all about this and how difficult it is to get property right now.
Right.
So as inventory levels go down, demand goes up, prices go up. So some of these neighborhoods, I mean, houses are selling for more than another house did yesterday.
Right.
Does the bank allow you to adjust your prices up for demand?
Most lenders do not allow us to make time adjustments, especially if there's going to be an increase, because that would almost be inflating the value and making a prediction of future value. And we really don't want to do that. If you go into a market and you see that there's been an increase over the last year or so, of course that can be justified and it can be recorded. But you want to make sure that you're using the most recent sales. Let's say this last 90 days or so. Most lenders actually require that they try to push you towards those last 90 days. If you're using sales within the last 90 days, you're not going to see very much of a change or no justification for a time adjustment in there at all.
Okay, because those recent sales are going to show that price increase that already happened, so you're using that one as
Exactly, and they're
That
all from the
makes
same
sense.
time frame. If they're all from the same, let's say 90 days, there's not going to be much of a difference, or there shouldn't be. And if there is, there may be a need for adjustment somewhere else.
Okay, that makes sense. Well, thank you so much for your time
You're
this evening.
welcome.
We really appreciate all your expert advice.
Thank you.
And for all you agents out there, any other questions you have, I will have Felicia's information up on my website. And for everybody else out there, if you're looking for expert real estate advice, please feel free to give me a call.